we had, there's 9 of us children. And so the oldest brother and my 2 older brothers had to quit school and get jobs. And they were very fortunate to get jobs because of the large size of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how we had our income.
Mm-hmm.
And mother was a school teacher when she got married and gave it up to farming.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to go back to school and get a degree
Mm-hmm.
in her teaching because she already had some college
Mm-hmm.
degrees toward teaching. And at that time, Kansas wouldn't allow a woman to teach. The husband could teach.
Really?
But since she
Mhm.
would have been able to since she was his sole support
Mm-hmm.
of the family. But they said that she had too many children that were
Mm-hmm.
elementary and below school age, that she'd have to farm the children out
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do that. And that would have been foster homes, and she would not.
She wasn't going to
She
do that.
would not do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the help of friends and my siblings that were working,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of us, which was 6.
Mm-hmm.
6 of us were still in school, 2 in junior high, and the others in elementary. And my mother was very capable, and she was a very good seamstress, and she made all of our clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So that saved a lot of finances to
Mm-hmm.
get through. But we never thought of us as being needy or poor, because everybody else was in the same boat as we were during the Depression years.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that we were a very close-knit family, and we supported each other, and we were best friends to each other. And so we had a very level and high esteem for each other,
Mm-hmm.
because we supported each other and built each other up. When they
Mhm.
had a problem, couldn't do, you can do it if you want to. You can do it.
It's family, so encouraging each other too, huh?
Mhm.
See, now I think that's where you get, we've talked about this before, where you get that leadership quality, Mom, because you always wound up the top of every organization. You wound up
Yeah.
the president of this, the president of that, if you took an interest in something, and you just stepped up to do it. You didn't worry about whether you knew what was going to come or not. You just knew that you would be able to do it.
I enjoyed doing anything that was profitable or an asset
Mm-hmm.
in you as personality-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It give you. I just loved people.
Mm-hmm.
I loved people, and I was very open and very honest,
Mm-hmm.
and always carried my load. I
Mm-hmm.
never shoved it off on somebody else. I always carried my load, and I think that's probably why I was given given the task, because others would rather
Have somebody else do it.
let somebody else do it. So,
But you got the value of doing it because
Yeah.
from what you're saying. You learned
yeah,
and grew from that and developed, yourself personally.
Mhm.
You always looked at it as an opportunity to grow. And I think I got that from you because I've always looked at things as more of an opportunity to grow, not necessarily, be successful by how
And
other people judge me.
You have a satisfaction.
Mhm.
You have a satisfaction within yourself
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that you have achieved something in your life.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's good. I got that from you, I guess. So tell me a little bit about where growing up in Kansas then during the Depression. Now that must have been a huge change when you lost your father,
Yeah.
and the older ones had to go out, and they left, didn't they? They didn't live there anymore.
No, they lived at home.
Well, Uncle Irving and they go to California? No.
When we first got to Kansas, they got jobs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Helen got a job at the telephone company,
Yeah, I remember.
and Irvin
Mm-hmm.
and got a job with the at Swift
Okay.
company.
Uh-huh.
And my oldest brother got a government job building a courthouse.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So they all had, well,
Mm-hmm.
jobs
Uh-huh.
to support us. And my mother was quite a seamstress. She made all of our quilts and comforters,
Mm-hmm.
and she made all of us girls. She made all of our clothes for
Mm-hmm.
us. So we were.
Now, Aunt
We never
Thelma.
felt like that we were neglected or poor, because everybody else was in the same boat
Mm-hmm.
that we were as far as finances.
Yep.
And but I said the thing that we had that a lot of families didn't have, and that is a sibling support for one another.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We competed against each other. We brought out the best
Mm-hmm.
in each other.
So how many were there again? How many siblings did you have? You had
9.
9.
I was 10.
And Thelma was still in Arkansas, so there were how many living?
9 when we moved
Okay.
to Kansas.
9 when you moved, okay.
Mhm.
So when you say you compete, what would an evening be at home in the Kansas setting without your father, with your mother, and your siblings? What would an evening be like? I mean, for dinner, and what did you guys do? No TV, no computers, no cell phones. So what did you guys do with your time?
Well, we had a Victrola, and we had a piano,
Uh-huh.
and we had radio
Mm-hmm.
and telephone.
Oh, quite a bit.
So that was about what anybody else had.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up never really feeling that we were needy, but I said we had families that had friends that would have siblings maybe a little older than us,
Mm-hmm.
and so they passed some of their clothes down to us,
Mm-hmm.
and that was okay because everybody else did it,
Sure.
and
Kids
we
grow out of things
survived
fast.
it.
Mhm.
We survived it, and I think through the surviving of the Depression years gave us a good experience learning how to get by and make things do that you hadn't thought of before. It didn't make any difference before, but it made a difference during the Depression years because the cash wasn't always there,
Yeah.
and a penny for a pencil at school even meant something back then. And you look back on those years and you think it couldn't have been that bad, but it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really hard.
What did you guys do, say, for birthdays or Christmas or whatever in the early years? Huh?
We usually celebrate just having a cake or something.
Mm-hmm.
The house was full with the siblings, and so there was no place to really have a birthday until my oldest daughter, that was 5 years older than me, had her 16th birthday. Mother did give a birthday party for her,
Who was that? Beatrice?
Beatrice.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, that birthday really meant something to me, because I thought, when it gets to be my birthday, when I'm 16, I'm going to have a birthday. And my mother promised, and she never made a promise that she didn't keep, but this one, when I was 16, things changed. And it wasn't the same as it was when my sister had her 16th, and so I didn't get my 16th birthday.
What had changed? What had changed? Just
I think finances had changed.
mm-hmm.
My oldest sister had gotten married and left home, and I was the oldest one at home. But it just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the situation was, it wasn't anything that could be helped.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get my birthday party, but that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I still got my present. I don't remember what it was. I know I got something.
So you always loved high school. I remember when I first went to high school, I really kind of was nonchalant about it, but I remember how much you were going to enjoy me going to high school because you just enjoyed your high school years so much. What do you remember the most about that, or why did you enjoy high school so much?
Well, I can't really think that I enjoyed high school any more than I did the other school years. I love school.
Mm-hmm.
I loved learning,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved to study.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always looking things up. Even words come to me, or somebody would say something. I'd look it up in the dictionary and see what it meant if I didn't know what the word meant.
You still do that. You still do that. You have a dictionary by your chair.
That's right.
And if somebody says, a word comes across TV or something that you don't know, you look it up. Or I've tried to show you how to search online because you can do that, but you still use a dictionary, but you look things up all the time. Yeah, that's funny. Huh.
I was always learning,
Mm-hmm.
always learning. As your children come along, I read books.
Oh, you were reading all the time. Yeah.
And I read children's
Yep.
raising at certain ages, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and feeding you and taking care of you.
Yeah.
I learned.
Did you read a lot of Dr. Spock was really kind of popular then too. Did you read any Dr. Spock books or
No,
no?
those were stories and things that.
No. Dr. Spock was a doctor. I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. You probably read some Dr. Spock books. I remember you had cookbooks and things too. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough for one day.
Is it enough for one day? I could listen to you all day. Okay. All right. Well, this is enough for one day. Signing off. Say goodbye, Mom.
Bye-bye.